Previously on Sailho, we got our certificates of competence in Gdynia, so it was time to really practice. Unfortunately, when this opportunity came up, Aleksandra wasn't available. I, however, wasn't going to miss a hop across Biscay. It started with a flight to Liverpool, where we did the shopping and collected a homemade lasagna from Captain Rob's wife Sam, before heading to Holyhead. Before the storm of 2018, this was a huge and well-functioning marina. All that's left now are moorings, like these, and a few pontoons, like this one. Hello Cloud9. This boat was going to take us to Spain after a little planning. But first, a night sail from North Wales to Wicklow in Ireland. We had to leave in darkness to catch the tide and get to our destination in daylight. Fine sailing weather, but it wasn't going to stay that way. The weather forecast was telling us that we were in for a big blow, so we tied Cloud9 to the harbour wall and explored this beautiful stretch of coastline. A few hours later and the wind had really picked up. Even in the harbour, we were getting gusts of up to 35 knots. When we tied up, we were alone, but we soon had a neighbour. Ocean Banquet is just behind us. She was seeking the shelter en route to Whitehaven. There are worse places to hole up in a storm, even if Wicklow is tiny, and the harbour facilities leave something to be desired. The next day, there was enough of a lull for Ocean Banquet to get away, but the wind was still no good for our direction. And now we had a new neighbour. But if a commercial fisher this size wasn't going to risk the sea, Cloud9 was certainly staying put. The wind dropped enough by Thursday morning for us to leave Wicklow for Kilmore. The 12-hour trip started calm but grey, and we departed under engine. During the afternoon, things began to change. Around Rosslare, the wind picked up and the swell grew. This certainly hadn't been forecast, but the geography of this stretch of coast could have been designed specifically for contrary winds and confused seas. Still, at least we've got some decent speed. It was dark and we were cold and wet by the time we reached Kilmore Quay. But next morning spirits were high as we explored this Irish fishing town and harbour. It might look calm now, but the waters around Kilmore have a reputation. This part of the Irish coast is sometimes known as the graveyard of 1,000 ships. Certainly bears the brunt of some pretty severe weather conditions. And beautiful though the coastline is, there are families who have lost several generations to the sea. Forlorn Point is close to a memorial garden to some of those who have lost their lives at sea. It's an appropriate spot for sailors to pay their respects, remember the dead, and perhaps recharge their own sense of caution. A quick farewell to Kilmore, and Sunday morning. The wind has dropped and we're away.
And I'll say goodbye to Ireland.
Yes.
Hello to Spain, eventually.
We had hoped to get to Gibraltar, but this wasn't possible in our 2-week window. Nevertheless, nothing was going to stop us crossing Biscay. Until that is, we hit the lobster pot half an hour later. But more on that in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, like, ring bells, all the rest of it. And don't miss the next episode. Bye.